Hi guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're gonna jump into another GTO trainer session. We're playing the spot MP2 Open versus Big Blind Call. This is a tournament spot played on 50 big blind stacks, and let's jump right into it. First hand, we've got King Jack off on an 8 Queen Deuce. With two clubs, the villain checks to us, so we're gonna bet 2. The ideal action here will be betting 5, and the solver plays it 58% of the time, but betting 2 is also fine. EV wise, very small EV loss, and the remainder 35% of the strategy. So we see the solver also checks here a bit. 8 of clubs on the turn. Villain checks to us again. I think this 8 would usually mean that we're continuing betting, but since it pairs the board, maybe it's a spot where we check. I'm gonna try checking here. Yeah, we can see it's a small EV loss, but just 7% of the strategy, and 74% of the time the solver would prefer betting 2/3 of the pot here. And now there's an ace on the river and the villain leads, overbets the pot, so we're gonna fold. Yep. Pocket 5s on a queen 8-10 with 2 diamonds, villain checks, we're gonna bet 5. It's actually just 2.5% of the strategy. We should rather bet 2 or check with pocket 5s here. Pocket 6s this time on a Jack Deuce 4, we're betting 2. It is the ideal action, played 95% of the time. Villain calls our bet, and there's a king of clubs on the turn. I think this might be a good spot to continue betting. Let's try and see that. Nope, this is not. We should rather check on this king of clubs here, 99% of the time. Betting is quite bad. It's minus 0.8 BB of EV loss and just 0.2 of the strategy. There's a 10 of clubs on the river, and I think we're just gonna give up on the hand right now. Yeah, I am giving up on it, and we see the villain having 2 pair with 10 Jack. Ace 3 of clubs on an 8-9 king. I think we're betting 2 here. Betting 5 is the preferred play, or checking. Queen of clubs on the turn. Do we continue betting here or do we check? I kind of want to continue betting, but let's check for this for once. And it is close. It is 50% of the time. We should bet 7, so 3/4 of the pot, and 42% we should check. So either way is fine. Now the villain checks to us on the 5 of spades on the river. And do we take a stab at this spot? Do we check? I think we should bet here because we're not beating a lot with our ace 3 suited. I'm gonna try and overbet the pot. Maybe not. Think we're gonna bet half pot here. Yeah, it is 20% of the strategy. Fine EV wise. Betting 3/4 is better. Play 30% of the time. So I think checking is the most frequent play here. But the villain re-raises all in, so we're just gonna fold. Yep. Ace Jack off on a 10-8 deuce. We're betting 2. Betting 5 is 50% of the strategy and a little better option, but betting 2 is fine. Pocket 8s on 5 deuce 6. I think this is a bet 5. or a bet 2. We get called, 7 of hearts on the turn, and the villain leads to us for a third of the pot bet. We're just gonna call. And there's a 10 of clubs on the river. And do we bet at this? Do we check? I think we should probably check here. Or are we betting half pot? I think we're gonna check. Yeah, 95% of the time we should check here. Cool. Queen deuce of spades on a queen 10 of spades on queen deuce 3. We're gonna bet 2. We get raised, so we're gonna call here. It is the ideal action. The solver never folds here, or almost never. Yeah, I think never. He probably re-raised that the remainder. The villain leads now for a third of the pot bet. We're gonna call. Again, it is the ideal action and most frequent play. And 9 of clubs on the river means we're gonna check behind. Yep, we win. The villain was just fooling around with king 4 of clubs. Queen jack off on a 5-6-6. I think this is a bet too. It is 98% of the time. We get called. Ace of hearts on the turn. I think we're gonna check now, or should we bet this ace? I think we're gonna try and bet 7 here. So 2/3 of the pot. Yeah, this is the ideal action, played 80% of the time almost. But the villain re-raises all in, so we fold. Pocket kings on king jack 6. I think this is a bet 5. Nope. Should rather be a bet 2. Played 78% of the time. We should almost never bet 5 here. So the solver either checks or bets 2 here. That's good to know. Pocket jacks on ace 10 4. We're betting 2. Betting 5 would be slightly better. Pocket fours on a king ace 5. I think we're gonna check here. Betting 5 is also fine. Jack of hearts on the turn. We're gonna do a delayed continuation bet. This is the ideal action, and the villain folds. 4-5 suited on a 7 king 4. I think we're betting 2 here. We are. We get raised, and do we call this here or do we fold? I think we call with 4-5 suited. Let's see. Yeah, we do. 10 of diamonds on the turn. I think we're gonna check here. Yeah, checking is fine. The solver likes to overbet the pot here, 41% of the time. And now the villain leads for a quarter of pot bet on the river. And I think we are falling here. Or should we sometimes re-raise? I think so. Should we re-raise pot here? I'm gonna fold, but I'm really curious to see how often we should re-raise all in here. Oh, we should actually call here 60% of the time. We should fold 7% of the time. So I'm assuming around 30% we should be raising here to the pot, or maybe all in. Cool. 9-10 of hearts on an ace 10-4. We're betting 2 here. You can see the solver prefers betting 5. We get raised, and I think we call here with 9-10 suited. We call 52% of the time. There's a 3 of clubs on the turn, and we're checking. We should be betting here. 3/4 pot. Oh no, a third of the pot bet, 86% of the time. So this is a spot that we need to memorize. We should be betting here a third of the pot. Often, very often. Checking behind is a small EV loss, well, a medium EV loss, but just 4% of the strategy. And now on the 5 of diamonds, the villain best took 3/4 pot and we are folding, which is 65.6% of the strategy, quite of an EV loss. And the solver actually prefers re-raising all in here, which we didn't even consider. So this is also a very interesting spot, the whole hand, that we should really try to memorize. Okay, cool. Pocket nines on 5 tray king. We're betting 2. That's the ideal action. Played 88% of the time. Villain calls. Deuce of hearts on the turn. We're continuing betting here, which we shouldn't. We should rather check. Almost always here. And now on the 7 of hearts we are going to check. And the villain shows up with king 4. Jack queen off on a 10-7-7. We're betting 2. Yeah, villain folds. 10-9 suited on a 4-9-6. I think we bet 2 here. Or bet 5. We get called. There's an 8 of spades on the turn and we continue betting here. We bet 7. Solver actually likes over betting here, 98% of the time. And on the 3 of clubs on the river, I think we're gonna bet half pot. And we should check 60% of the time. Betting half pot is 18% of the strategy, but it is a huge EV loss. So we should not be doing that really. We should just be checking back here. Yeah. 7-8 of spades on a jack ace 5. We're betting 2 or betting 5. We get called. Jack of hearts on the turn, we fold. Jack queen off on a 4-7, bet 2. Yep, villain folds. Ace deuce of hearts on an 8-jack, bet 2. Yep, villain calls. King of clubs on the turn, we're gonna check this time. And we should be rather betting 7, 74% of the time. And now on the jack of hearts on the river, the villain overbets the pot. And I think we call here with ace deuce of hearts. But we're not gonna know because we picked up 2 rare over 3 earlier. So, and we would lose the spot anyway because the villain's got 4 of a kind. Now we have king queen off on a deuce 10 queen. I think we bet 2 here. Bet 5 is the preferred play and the most frequent one. Now there's a 7 of diamonds on the turn. Villain leads for 3.5 BBs. We're gonna call. And there's a 3 of clubs on the river and the villain overbets the pot. I think we have to call here with king queen off. Yeah, and unfortunately the villain's got the flush. Pocket fours on king 4 tray. I think we're betting 2 here. We are. Villain folds unfortunately. 5-6 of hearts on an ace king king. We're betting 2. Villain folds. 5-4 suited on 4 king king. We are betting 2 again. Yep, villain folds. Ace deuce of hearts on a 5-4-5. Again, bet 2. We have a string of bet 2s. But this time we get called. There's a 6 of spades on the turn. Do we continue betting here or do we check? I think we can easily check. 97% of the time we should, yeah. And there's another 6 on the river. And I think we just check behind here. Yeah, or we could bet 5. So half pot, a quarter of the time. Cool. Ace jack off on a deuce straight 8. This is a bet 2. It is. Villain folds. And we've played our 25 hands for the day. Let's see our stats. I think this is the worst session by far. It is, unfortunately. Minus 28 BBs of EV loss. Quite substantial because so far we've been doing very well. Having an average of, I think, minus 13 BBs of EV loss. But yeah, a worse session had to come. And unfortunately it was this time. Yeah, we can see our frequencies actually, which is very surprising. We bet or raised less often than the GTO. This doesn't usually happen. We checked or called more and we folded more. So surprisingly, we played more passively than the GTO on this session. And in the future and in the past, it was rather the opposite way. We played way more aggressively than the GTO. Yeah, we can see this 10-9 of diamonds hand, which was a really bad play. We should just fold here 60% of the time. I mean, we should just check behind our hand here. And instead we chose to bet half pot. It was quite a substantial EV loss. You can see this is a part of the solver strategy, but yeah, it's EV-wise, it's just bad. And yeah, here this hand minus 0.16. And also this one minus 0.8. But yeah, nonetheless, it's not the worst one. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed this long, please leave a comment, GTO. And yeah, if you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Check out the playlist with the previous sessions. And check out the GTO trainer. This is a really cool tool. And I really recommend it. You can check it out in the links in the description of this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.